Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's May 23rd, 2022, and today I thought I'd give you a much requested update by my brother Jim on the honey hut and the bees that are here and all. For those of you that aren't familiar with our channel and all and are interested in beekeeping and that sort of thing, I don't consider myself a beekeeper. We are a stewardship here. So we're more of bee stewards, meaning that we don't raise the bees for propagating bees or for farming them out. We don't do any treatments. We don't purchase nukes. We don't do any of those things that a typical beekeeper would do. We don't harvest honey for ourselves. I do harvest wax and some honey after the season has progressed to the point where there potentially could be problems in the hive. So in other words, we didn't have tremendous success this past winter with a few of the hives, so we're down to just one hive. We had four and a half hives going into the winter months, and what I'll do is I'll turn the camera around and we'll go through and take a look at the systems and all. So here we go. So I thought what I'd do is just walk down the south side. So this honey hut I built a few years ago. There's a whole video series on me building the honey hut and the bee stewardship program. So our website is still up at this point, which is mindfullivingsanctuary.com. All one word, mindfullivingsanctuary.com. And there's a whole page that I posted there that talks about our bee stewardship program. So if you have questions, please go to that site. That'll probably be up for, I think, a couple more months, and then Weebly's taking it down. And maybe this winter we'll put up a new website as well. But this is the south face. It's completely open because we're in such heavy snow country and tough winters. I decided to build the hut around the hives that are here, and you can see there's several different hives inside the hut. And what I'll do now is walk inside. It's a little bit darker in there, but hopefully we'll be able to see some of the things that may have been of interest. So, and it's also a storage unit for a lot of our drip tape and all that for right now. So we had two strong hives, one of which did survive. This is one of the strong hives, and I take it off the back cover so you could see. And you can see there's still lots of honey in here. This was just absolutely loaded with bees in the fall. And one of the things that I saw probably a day or two after I saw no activity coming from this hive was I saw a bunch of dead bees and sugar crystals out here. So I don't know if someone's purposely baiting setups for bees. It just seems very suspicious to me, but that's all conjecture on my part. But this was a really strong hive that did really well. I haven't broken the hive down yet because what I do is I allow, which most beekeepers would call robbing, I call it foraging. So when other bees are coming into the area and they've had a tough winter and they're trying to get some resources for reestablishing their own hives, I leave these hives open that have the bees in them, the honey in them. So this is our hive that has survived. And geez, I didn't use my flashlight before, or did I? Yes, I did. So you can see there's quite a few bees in there. They had consumed a lot of the honey from the upper area. Lots and lots of bees here. And they're busy at work. It's 56 degrees Fahrenheit right now outside. Lots of activity. And they're going in and out. There's also a little bit of a warped spot over here. You can see where the bees are going in and out, making that a second opening as well. The rest of these hives are all empty at this point. And so we had a couple of hives that swarms came into last season, but evidently they didn't have enough resources stockpiled so that they would survive our tough winters. So this one, they didn't survive here. This is another one that they came in and they set up shop. But again, they didn't have enough resources to survive the winter. And I do minimal intervention. I want it to be as natural as possible with the bees. And again, this was one that came in real late in the season. They never got any stores established at all. So I'm pretty happy that we've got a hive that did survive. And I'm going to give them another week or so anyways to take as much of the honey that's there as possible. And we'll do an analysis on all of the hives that didn't survive, but I'm pretty certain that the resources were just not adequate for those late season swarms. In this part of the country, it gets cold early, it gets wet early. Even with being in a building like this, it's not foolproof. And I have set out, and I have videos on capturing swarms by having these out in the fields. And my goal basically is just to provide places, and with our food forest here, with the diversity of plant species here in 3 different food forests, we have something almost always in bloom, so that the bees always have resources available to them. So that's pretty much it with the update for what's going on with the hives here. I know this season, like many seasons in the last few years, have been very tough for beekeepers and all. And my goal is just to provide the habitat and the resources, and certainly removing lawns, putting in food forests, putting in living fences, hedgerows, having a diversity, a significant diversity of plant species available for the bees to forage from, and providing them with some shelter, because a lot of the trees that they would naturally take up residence in are not available with the things that are going on, especially in this part of the country. It's a little bit tough. We have enough disease going through some of our forest areas that there just aren't those old growth trees that have the big cavities for the bees. So they're taking up residence in people's homes, basements, any place that they can find a spot. And one of my goals was just to provide them with a place that they could set up residence and have a natural life where we're not feeding them any sugar water, we're not requeening, we're not doing anything that wouldn't happen out in nature as well. So that's it for our update. I hope this is of some value. If you have any comments or questions, if you have questions at all, please go to mindfullivingsanctuary.com and go to our Bee Steward page there and read all about what our approaches are and why we don't treat and why we don't feed, those sorts of things. And I hope this is of some benefit. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.